because the Ukraine people did them even before the birth of Jesus. But the correct term for the actual dyeing is pysanky or pysanka, and that means to write. But we tend to blow the eggs out. This is called a blast fix. This is something I discovered the last couple of years. It's actually bellows with a hollow tube here, metal tube, and you take an egg. These are already blown out, but I will show you. You take this little metal tool, and this is just a hand drill, and you rotate it where you want the hole to go, and as you rotate it, if you can keep it in one spot, it will eventually work its way through. Actually, it doesn't take that long. And then you take this blast fix, and you put the tube up in it, so you just need one hole. You kind of rotate it around, breaking up the egg yolk, and then you take a container underneath you, and as you push air up into the egg, the white and the yolk will be displaced and come out into your container. And then I put this blast fix down into some water, suck the water up, turn the egg with the hole up, and put water in it a couple times, shake it, empty it so that there's none of the egg still in it. And then I just put some paper towel or toilet paper in the egg carton with the hole down and let it drain overnight. So once the egg has dried, then you want to clean it off. You take a little bit of toilet paper, just because it's cheaper than Kleenex, put a little bit of vinegar on it and clean it. And then from then on, I like to just use rubber gloves because the oils from your hands can actually leave marks on the shell, and when you're trying to dye the egg, those impressions or those marks from your fingerprints, the oils, could prevent the egg from dyeing in that area. So once you've cleaned it, then you have to decide what kind of design you want to do. Okay? These are called kishkas, like I said, stylus, that can accept beeswax, but you want an opening in the bottom. So these different stylus or kishkas have different size openings. If you want a small line, a thin line, then you would use the one with the smaller opening. If you want a wider line or you have a big area to fill in, then you would want one that had a bigger opening in it. Okay? So there's two ways that you can apply this dye. Once you've decided what your design is, you can either just start drawing the melted wax on with the kishka, or you can, if you want to, you can draw with a pencil your designs. Okay? So then once you have your design either drawn on or you're just going to do it free form, okay, then you take this kishka and you heat the tip up. Of course, you don't want to heat the wood because wood burns. So you just heat up the metal, the tip, and then you plunge it, or you actually set it on the beeswax and let it sink into the beeswax, and the beeswax goes up into the cone. The other way you can do it is just to put some little pieces of beeswax into the top. Okay, so I'll just show you just a little bit. Once you touch it to the egg, then it's going to start going on it, and you notice that it's black because the carbon from burning it is going to turn the wax black. However, underneath that drawn line, that's going to stay white. Okay? Once you put wax on the egg, whether it has dye on it or not, it's going to stay whatever color is underneath that wax. Okay? And when it stops writing, then you know that you have to heat it up, put it in the beeswax, and then you can start again. So what I like to do is take a little piece of toilet paper, put it on the hole, and you could do this after you dye it once. In fact, that's usually what I do, is I dye that little, the bottom of it at least with the dye, because if I put this wax on the hole now, it's going to be a bright white. It's going to show that. So then you want to stick with mainly the warm or the cool colors. Okay? And you do want to start from lightest to darkest. So I have light yellow, and then I have regular yellow. I have light orange, regular orange, and so forth. I put a little bit of vinegar in it. You can use vinegar to help the color stick to the egg, or you can use the setting powder that you can get when you get the dyes. Okay, and when you take it out of the container, then you just dab it dry. Okay? And then I'm going to take it back over, and I'm going to seal that hole up. Okay, so I'll take my little piece of toilet paper. The reason I use that is because it's hard to cover the hole with just wax. The wax just doesn't want to fill up the hole that quickly, so you have to give it something to stick to. So this is kind of something I just devised when I was, you know, when you're figuring things out in art, you want to figure out what works for you. And so sometimes it's not what you have read about the technique, it's what you find works for you. Mm-hmm. So I have to heat it up a little longer now because the kishka has cooled. Once it starts warming up, you don't have to hold it in the flame so long. And set it in there, and I just start dabbing the wax on it, and the toilet paper is going to help hold it. So I try to use as small a piece of toilet paper as I can. Mm-hmm. And then try to keep a nice even shape over it. So that's going to stay pink now, even though it looks black. Where I put the wax, as soon as you put the wax on it, the egg will stay that color, whatever's there. Okay, so then I could dip it some more, or I could continue to draw some on here. So I'm going to do the medium yellow because I don't want to do the light. I want to go a little bit darker. Each sequence of colors, you want to go a little bit darker each time. Okay, and should have had the toilet paper first. I always forget. And then you put it in kind of that nest of toilet paper, and you just blot it dry. Okay, now that bottom made it kind of orangish, so if I didn't like that, I could come back and put it in. See, I'm going to do the lighter pink because I don't want to get too dark too soon. I could put it back in. Now I don't want to do the whole egg, so I'm just going to hold it in there for a minute. Mm-hmm. And then take it back out. So now I did it a little bit higher up, so now I have a little bit of another rim of color. And now it's more peachy color, or salmon, because I added a little more pink. Mm-hmm. Okay? So then I would go back and I would dry some more. Mm-hmm. So you just have to kind of go with the flow. If you make a mistake, you just kind of work it into your design, not worry about it.